So in 1985, I was 12 years old, and we we went on a trip for Thanksgiving to Arkansas. It was me, my mom, my older sister, and then her boyfriend. And I remember he got a new Jeep, and so he wanted to go. He wanted to drive. He was all excited about it. And so we went. We visited family there, and had a good Thanksgiving. And then, but on the way back, there was an ice storm had hit, and so as we were coming into Oklahoma, where I think we were about 15 miles east of Oklahoma City, there was the ice was really bad, and everyone had fallen asleep except for my sister's boyfriend, who was driving. And so I remember, like, just we were all crashed, and then I hear this we were all asleep, and then I hear this yell. And probably some choice words were actually spoken during that time, and it woke me up. And when I woke up, we were actually spinning in circles on I-40. And obviously, that's that's not what you ever want to see. And I remember thinking, like, I think we often will think if a wreck happens, I would do this or I would do that. And literally, though, like, there's no time to do anything. And we were spinning, and then we caught the side of the road, and it had a very wide median at this point. And so when we caught it, that Jeep flipped. It rolled, actually. So it rolled, I don't know how many times, I think 2 or 3 times. I can't remember what they said. And during the time of that, while it was rolling, it was a hardtop, and that hardtop came loose. And so after the Jeep stopped rolling and it came to rest, it was resting upside down. And so during the crash, as the Jeep turned and was resting upside down, I got basically lodged in between the hardtop and the Jeep. And so the only thing that was keeping the Jeep from the ground was actually me, and the row bar was resting on my neck. So, but imagine the Jeep being upside down, the weight of it pressing down, but the row bar was on my neck. So I was between the row bar and the ground. And so I remember, I just remember that my sister's boyfriend, I heard him say, "Is everyone okay?" And I was trying to let him know that I was in a tough situation, to say the least. And I remember thinking I was like kicking and stuff, but I wasn't moving because literally the oxygen had been completely cut off. And obviously some people are like, "Yeah, that's exactly what's wrong with you today." And I'm like, but I couldn't breathe. I wasn't getting oxygen. And so he turned around and saw me, and then he was just like, "Oh my God, Scotty." And in that moment, like, I know my sister, she went berserk, and my mom had actually been injured during the crash. She had dislocated her shoulder bone from her collarbone, so she couldn't do anything. And so he got out. My sister took off running. She's trying to flag people down. He got out and tried to lift the Jeep up. And so I passed out. And so during that time when I was passed out, I remember, like, it was literally like I was 20 or 30 feet in the air, and I could see everything that was going on. So I could see myself under the Jeep. I could see where everybody was at. I could see my sister running around, and so it was really crazy, because obviously I believed that I died, and so I was watching what was going on. And then while this is happening, which I'm sure was just a matter of a minute or whatever. A truck driver actually, there were several people pulled over to help, and a truck driver pulled over, and he came out, and him and my sister's boyfriend picked the Jeep up off of me, rolled it off. And because of the ice storm, it took the ambulance a long time to get there. So they weren't there yet. And so after, I don't know how long passed, it was literally like I was right back, eyes open. And eyes open, I jumped up, ran directly to my sister. I knew exactly where she was at. And so it was just crazy, you know. And when after I was passed around through a few vehicles, highway patrol got there, all that stuff, but eventually the ambulance got there. They put me in the ambulance where I couldn't move and things of that nature to have me stable. And they took me to Hillcrest Hospital, and I remember that the doctors took pictures of me, and they wanted documentation because they said no one had come in there with that many busted blood vessels in their head or in their face that was still alive. And you know, and then also they said literally they said it's a miracle, even a quarter of an inch either way, the way that would have rested, it should have just snapped my neck instantly. And you know, being 12, I don't think you understand the gravity of what's taking place, but you know, I remember I'd kind of forgotten about this, but then I remember talking to my sister one time. My sister actually stayed in the hospital with me that night. She was there because my mom was getting, you know, she had things to take care of with her injury. And she said, I was asked her that night, I said, hey, do you think you can die and come back from that? And she was just like, well, yeah, I think so, but why are you asking? And then that night I shared with her what I had seen. And so it was, you know, obviously something I think about at times, but I think, you know, just the way that it all happened, the way that it all shook out in the moment, I probably didn't understand just how amazing it was. I actually went home the very next day, and everything was okay. But, you know, something that's so cool about that is that less than a year after that, as a young man, that's when I gave my life to Christ. And I was just thinking about, you know, obviously death is tragic, but what would have been really tragic is that if I wouldn't have got the opportunity to live for Christ. And you know, I don't know why I was saved in particular, like over someone else or any of that, but I just know that I was saved. God spared my life, and so because He spared my life, I have to live for Him. I mean, that's what I try. Even today, I was just thinking about this. I was like, I get to live for Christ. He spared my life, and as long as He has spared my life and I have breath in my lungs, I'm going to be able to serve Him and to live for Him. And you know, it's not just for me. I think if we're being honest, every single person can think of, maybe it's not that extreme, but maybe somewhere where God spared us, where God healed us, where God worked a miracle in our marriage that we didn't think we could ever have. And if we're really observant, I think if we look back, we'll see God's hand on us. And I think the best thing we can do is say, God, you saved me. Now I want to live for you. And so, man, that's my story. That's what God has done in me, and that's what He can do in others.